Okay, welcome back to our series here of the psychology of being a singer. And this one is, can I become a great singer? Or even just, can I become a singer? This is, if you've heard me, you've probably heard me talk about this before, that this is one of the most common things that I get. This is one of the most common questions I get. And I want to talk a little bit about it in a way that I've never talked about it before. There are a lot of ways to come at this question that I think would be a good way to come at this question. But here's the main thing that I think about as far as the psychology of being a great singer. The problem with this question is in the context of the question. Bear with me. Listen to the context of the question. Can I become a singer? Can I become a great singer? Now, when I say, you know, whatever it is, for me for a long time was, can I be an actor? Can I become a great actor? Can I become a filmmaker? And I'll actually talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Can I create a website where people can really learn how to sing and reach their dreams? So this kind of idea. The problem with the context of this question is that it assumes the power is outside of me, right? So if I'm asking you, can I do this? I'm looking for some type of what? I'm looking for permission. I'm looking for some type of stamp of approval of like, hey, can I do this? And it gets it totally mixed up. That's like and this is kind of a real negative word, but bear with me. It gets into like a victim mindset. Oh, well, I'm a victim of circumstance. I'm a victim of whether somebody will say that I can do this or not. I have to find out first if I can move forward. But the great news is we don't have to get permission. We can just make a choice. We get stuck in the, can I do this? And what do you think? And feedback and then we just do nothing. We get into inaction, and it's the inaction that causes us not to reach our dreams. So to get out of that inaction of, oh, can I? And what do you think? And that mindset, just like I am. This is what I am. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to figure out and moving forward with that. So does that make sense with the context? The context of the question sets it up as if the power is outside of you. But I want to tell you the power is inside of you. That you can declare a future, say, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to go after. The power resides in you. Not that you're God. It's not like some weird new age thing. It's just a natural thing in life. It's like, it's literally almost as much as me saying, can I blow up this balloon? It's like, well, you know, oh, I don't know if I can, and what will people say, and what do I think, and what do you think? It's just like, just blow up the balloon. And that's an easier example. But even becoming a singer, becoming a rock star or an actor or whatever it is that you want to do. I'm guessing singer, since you're watching this, it just takes a little longer to reach that goal, but it's the same idea. It's just do it. Just get in action, choose to do it, and figure it out. The biggest stuck place around the context of this question is usually, here's like the underneath, you know, we're talking about the psychology of singing, of being a singer. The underneath is, I don't have what it takes, or I don't think I have what it takes, or I don't know if I have what it takes. And that thought is what plagues most singers. I don't know if I have what it takes. Do I have what it takes? That kind of thought, and then it kind of keeps us stuck. So I said I'd talk more about this in a second. So for me, I love acting and I love filmmaking, and this was something I live in Los Angeles, California. Welcome to my home. And could I do this? And for years and years and years, I stayed stuck around the idea of like, oh, I think it'd be really fun to act, but I don't think I have what it takes, and I'm not gonna do, you know, that whole thing. Literally for about 10 years, I was stuck in that place. And so one day I actually have a coach, and my coach coached me into the idea of let's just take small steps and move in this direction. And now it's been a couple of years, and so I don't know if you know this about me, but I love doing this, and I continue to do this, and I'm watching people reach their dreams. I've got tens of thousands of students literally all over the world. Love it, love that. But I also love acting and filmmaking. Recently, I went from like not doing anything to I recently booked a commercial for a major brand, and I've got all these films got 2 films I'm taking to film festivals, and doing a lot of really fun things around acting and filmmaking. Whereas for so long I was just so scared. I don't know how, and what will people think, and am I good enough, and all that kind of stuff. But all that stuff you can figure out once you start moving forward and making that decision and that declaration. You have the power, and this is, again, it's not some like weird new age thing, but you have the power to create a future in your mind, okay? Just like with the superior singing method, me and a couple of my longtime really good buddies, we had the power to create a future. We created a future one day just sitting around having a conversation of, what if we had this singing site that taught people all over the world how to sing and reach their dreams legitimately? What if? It just started as an idea, and that idea created a future that we began to live into. Later down the series, I'm going to talk more about that idea. That's a really big idea that I'm going to flesh out because it's a big idea. But just for now, the idea, the thought, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to make a declaration, and I'm going to live into that, and that's the future I'm going to create for myself. It's all a creation. We have the power to create the future that we want, but it starts with just going, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care what anybody says. This is what I'm going to do. Because we live into the future that we see coming. And I just think of what would have happened if I didn't do this. My life would be so much different. So my question to you, to kind of wrap this up, and most people get a thought in their mind usually when I ask them this question, but I want you to really think about this. You're not just listen to what I'm saying and yeah, or maybe you are and that's fine, but just stop for 1 second and think about this question. If you were to do, what is one small step that you can do to move your singing career forward, to become a better singer? What's just one thing that you can do? What is that thing? There's probably something coming to mind right now. I mean, would you be willing to do that one thing? Are you doing that one thing, or is there just a lot of complaints around, I don't know how, or I don't know, and if I'm good enough, and my mom thinks I suck, and my brother's always saying, shut the heck up, or whatever it is? Would you be willing to do that one thing? And of course, I've got lots of resources, Superior Singing Method, the Vocal Coaching Club, and all these I've got tons of resources. If you want to take advantage of some of that, that's great. If not, that's great too. But what is just one step that you can take to move forward? And would you be willing to do that? Okay, so that's it kind of for this. And I want to leave you with what I've been leaving the other videos is just this idea of believe in your bigness. There's more in you than you realize. There really is. There's more in you than you realize. You think you're like, oh, I can't do this, and that kind of thing. There's more in you than you realize. So start functioning as if that were true and watch you get different results in your life. Because the way you show up, the way you're being, I know this is kind of a weird concept, but the way you show up and the way you choose to be massively affects the results that you get in life. So if you walk in and you say, I choose to believe that this is possible for me and I'm going to be great at this, the actions you take and the results you get are going to be massively different from, I don't think I can do this and I don't know and I'm just not going to do it. Totally different thing. And circumstances didn't change at all. It's your being that changed. That's why this idea of being a singer, like what does it take to be a singer? It's part of your being and your thinking, because your thinking is a huge part of what's going to move you towards something or keep you from something. It all starts right there in your mind. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Before you go though, so go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, wherever you do that, somewhere around here, because there'll be more episodes just so you know when the episode's coming out. And click the link right here, right up here to the right, and that'll take you to a bunch of more I think it's really good content. It's like 15 minutes, and you'll get more of the practical things like my favorite exercise and some other fun stuff. And I'll take you to Superior Singing Method if you want to take advantage of some of that. And lastly, I'd love to hear from you. Any comments that you can put below. Oh, you can also click the link below to get the techniques and exercises and that kind of free video that I made for you. But comment. I'm writing a book on the psychology of singing, and I would love to hear from you because I want to write this for you and about what you think about this content. So any questions or comments or what you hated, what you liked, anything you have to add, I would love to hear from you, and I'm going to read all those, and it's going to help me develop this book because I want to write this book for you. Okay, thank you for listening. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next episode.